Hi, everybody. Uzi. I'm just real crazy right now. Excuse me. I am beyond sleepy today. I've been up since like 3:30. Compliments of a mirror. But I'm trying to stay consistent because some people actually say they look forward to my recaps. So I love that for me. So I'm trying to make sure I stayed up for you guys. So everybody that watches this live, if you catch it live or the recap, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So everybody that's watching now, make sure you press the like button. So I'm gonna get right into it because today was a lot. I have 6 pages of notes. 6 pages. I mean, today was a good day in court. They have been saying that since um, they've been saying this week it has not been the lines have not been as long as they were to get in as it was last week. But today was a good day. Yesterday I was only on here for like 15 minutes, but today could easily be way more than that because it was a lot. I mean, a lot that went on, and I was just shaking my head at Diddy like he's a character. I'll tell you that much. So they are saying that the lines are much shorter. His family wasn't well. His mom and his sons were not there today, but his sister was, and I'm like, his sister. Then I got to thinking about it. I was like, they do be saying he has siblings. So he has a sister named Keisha Combs, but she's out of the spotlight. Like she's not in the spotlight at all. But she used to work for him. I'm not sure if she still works for him now, but I know she used to. But she stays very low key. And she was the only person, well, family wise, that was there for him. They always have people that's outside, and then they have one of his close friends that's there that always have on that shirt, Free Diddy. He's always there. But as far as family wise, his sister Keisha was there. So I'm gonna get right back in to what they was talking about. So prosecutors, okay, hold on. Prosecutors started back on where they left off yesterday, just making it seem like Cassie was not forced. She was not forced. So David James, they started back off with David James, and if you guys watched it yesterday, David James was P Diddy's personal assistant from like 2007 to 2009. So they started off with him again. He first off said that he will work 6 or 7 days at a time and sometimes 20 hours a day. 20 hours a day. And he said he never complained about it because they told him what rhymes with tired. What do y'all think they said? What rhymes with tired? What rhymes to tired? What rhymes with tired to you guys? Just think about it. What rhymes with tired? If y'all can think. And this is what they told him. I'm going to give y'all like 5 seconds. Well, if y'all don't know, I'm just going to tell y'all. What rhymes with tired is fired. So they would tell him that all the time. What rhymes with tired? Fire. So they basically said, we don't get tired around here. It don't matter if you working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're working for P. Diddy, and we're here to serve him and make him happy. So this is what he said he would do. A lot of times he would work 20-hour shifts, 6 to 7 days a week. He also said that Combs traveled with large supplies of prescription drugs. Most of them were illegal. And he said some of them were stamped with our lovely ex-president Obama's face on them. So I don't know what kind of pill that was. The only thing I can think of where they can put people's face on it was probably ecstasy back then. That's the only thing I could think of. So he would often take pills with President Obama's face on it. Alondra said wired. No, Alondra, it was fired. So they were saying, what rhymes with tired? fired. So don't come around here telling us that you're tired. So he would take those pills with Obama's name on it, face on it. He said that he took a Percocet every single day. Every single day. And they said even during meetings and stuff like that, he said yes, he took Percocets every single day. So that goes into what they were saying, like he was on drugs all the time. He was high out of his mind. But some people, I think, once you start taking those pills like that, they can't function without them. Like they can't. So he was probably just used to doing them. He said he also had to prep Diddy's rooms at the hotels. They would be supplied and stocked with 40 kinds of skincare products. And I was like, dang. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, if you think about it, P. Diddy really did have nice skin. He has very nice skin. And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, well, men in general low key have better skin than us women. And we be using all these products on our face and everything, masks and all that stuff. And they skin be better than us and they just be using soap. But then my coworker brought it up to me. She was like, I heard it's because they shave their face. So all those dead skin cells and stuff are getting scraped off. And I had just seen a couple of months ago on TikTok that they had some kind of product that they were promoting where they would spray all this white stuff. And this was for women. They would spray like some kind of spray and it would turn white on the woman's face. And you could see all the hair on their face. And then they would shave it off. So, and they said that would make you have clearer and better skin. So I guess that's why men's skin are better. But I would never try none of that stuff because I'm already a hairy person. I remember my mama told me when I was in the 7th grade, because she saw me about to shave my arms and she was like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm about to shave my arms because they be teasing me that my arms are hairy. And she was like, if you shave your hair, it's going to come back thicker. And I didn't listen to her and it did come back thicker and I never shaved it again. And I'm still hairy on my arms like that. Like my arms are so hairy, but that's neither here nor there. He had 40 facial skin products that had to be there. A Jordan brand sweatsuit and applesauce, along with an assortment of drugs and baby oil and lubricant. So those were the things he had to have in his hotel. Skincare products, a Jordan brand sweatsuit, applesauce, drugs, baby oil, and lubricant. Now, David also said that when he bought those things, well, some of the things that he could buy over the counter, that he was reimbursed by Bad Boy Entertainment for the expenses, such as meds and snacks and stuff like that. But when he bought the baby oil, the Astroglide and condoms and stuff like that, he had to be reimbursed by the security staff in cash. And so I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because that probably would have been alerted them about that baby oil and stuff, because they probably, and then probably for tax purposes too, if they asked to see receipts and everything. So it made sense why he was doing it. I was like, well, you know what? Some of the stuff he was doing, he really knew, he thought about it very well. So he said those were the way he was reimbursed. He said they asked him about the night with Suge Knight. So he said that night because remember he talked about it before yesterday. He said that, well, Cassie talked about this. He said the night that they came in contact with Suge Knight, they were having an F off, and the security guard was up at Mel's, and that's where Suge Knight was at. And Suge Knight noticed the security guard. It was like, hey, ain't you Biggie's homeboy? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, what the F you doing in my city? Like, what you doing out here? And old boy was like, oh, I'm just out here, handling business, whoopty whoop whoop. And he was like, oh, and he was like, a couple of minutes passed. He saw 4 black SUVs surround Mel's Diner. Now, Mel's Diner has glass all around it, so you could see. And so they seeing all this, and then they seen somebody hand a GUN to Suge. And they both was like, we need to get the F up out of here. They didn't wait for their food or nothing. So when they got back to where Diddy was at, which was in the hills having his F off, they told him like, Suge Knight at Mel's Diner right now. So P. Diddy stopped the F off, and that's when Cassie was saying, remember, she was saying she was begging him not to go because she didn't know what he would be doing. Like she couldn't put nothing past him. So she was like, she didn't want him to go and everything. So the assistant said when they got back, P. Diddy stopped the F off, got in the car. He had 3 GUNs on his lap, and let's go. And he was ordered to drive, and he had to drive around Mel's Diner around 3 times just to see if they could find Suge Knight, but Suge Knight was gone at that time. And so they asked him about the incident again, the defense team. So they asked James if he objected to going with Combs. Like, why you didn't tell him you didn't want to go? Why didn't you tell him this? And he said, this is a man that has 3 loaded GUNs, and he's that close to me. Do you guys think I even had a choice? Do y'all think that I was going to tell this man no? Would y'all have told him no? Even if it wasn't Diddy. If somebody told y'all, get in a car and drive me, and they had, even if they had 1 gun, I would be like, okay, is y'all still driving them around, or y'all going to tell the person no? Let me know in the comments. Y'all going to tell them no, or is what? So the defense team asked him after that, you still could have told him no. You still could have told him no. So then they brought up, okay, have you ever did drugs? Have you ever did drugs? And he was like, I mean, yeah. He was like, on the clock. Have you ever did drugs on the clock? And he was like, well, one time I did, but I was off. I was at his house, but I was off. And so he had took one of Diddy's pills and started Diddy bopping. So I guess that meant he was just acting crazy or whatever. And the next day, I guess Diddy would always go over the videos just to see what was going on. Because, you know, you out of your mind, you might not remember what was going on. And he called him in there and was like, was you on something last night? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, the way he said it, it didn't sit well with him because he know how Diddy is. He had tried to use stuff against him. And he was just like, oh, okay. I just was making sure. I was just making sure. They also asked him, has he ever stole anything from him? Because a time some Cartier bracelets came up missing. And he was like, no, I wouldn't steal anything from him. And they was like, okay, take a lie detector test. And they was like, why do you seem so nervous? Why are you so nervous? And he was like, well, I didn't steal those Cartier bracelets from him, but I did. Sometimes when his packages used to come, I would be the one to open it and give it to him. Like I might take some jeans, or when they would send the Ciroc, I might take some Ciroc bottles or something like that. But I never stole any jewelry or anything from him. So that's why he was scared, because he felt like he was going to get in trouble for that, which Diddy, you know, he wouldn't know if anything was taken from him like that, because why would he? He don't know what's coming up. So, oh boy, David said that after that happened, the Suge Knight incident, literally the next day he told them he quit. He didn't want to be involved in that no more. He was like, that was just life changing for him, and he didn't want to be involved with it. So he told them like he quit, and they was like, well, do you want to be in charge of the Sean John, the clothing line, because you're into fashion and everything? So would you rather do that? And he was like, no, I just don't even want to be involved with this stuff at all. So he had quit. That defense team came back up, have him come back up again, and asked him, had he ever choked the personal chef, Jordan? And he said that he hadn't. he never choked her. So they was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah, I never choked her." And they was like, asking him again. And he was like, "Well, we got into it before. We got into it before." He was like, "But I grabbed her by her arm and told her to stay in her place." And Diddy found out, and they was like, "And what did he say to you?" He said, "You can't go around hitting females." I was like, I know Diddy did not tell this man that after he done been beating the hell out of Cassie. He told that boy, well, man, that he could not go around hitting on women, and that he needed to apologize and buy that girl a gift. So he had to go apologize to the chef, and he bought her a gift, y'all. And guess what the gift was? A blunt. A blunt was the gift. And she was happy. They said, was she happy? He was like, yes. She was happy with that gift. I was just like, this is like, yes, Alondra, this is wow. Like this, I'm telling you, I'm at work reading this like, are you serious? He got some nerves telling him to keep his hands to himself. That's what I said. And then later on down the line, let's get into this. Okay, so the government then asks if Combs himself have ever got violent with the chef. James said that there was an incident at Combs' New Jersey home. James said Combs instructed James to file a police report saying that the chef was aggressive and hit him first. So this is some stuff that Diddy would do all the time. And I remember, I don't know what documentary I was watching, and I remember them saying Diddy would always try to get some kind of incriminating something on you. So whenever you did something, he could be like, that's why I fired them, because X, Y, and Z. He'd just always want to have something on you forever. So he told James, go file a police report and tell them that she got aggressive and hit me first. And so if something ever happens, I could be like, I told y'all. So James was like, he didn't want to file no false police report. So when Diddy told him to do that, he actually just rolled around the city for a couple of hours. And when he came back, he told Diddy he did it. But he never, ever filed the report on the girl. Clutching my pearls. Alondra, I'm telling you, this mess was so crazy today. I was just like, now this is the day they should have been back up in there. So that's what happened. So he said he never filed the police report on the girls. The defense asked James about an encounter he had with Roger Bonds. That's P. Diddy's security guard. So they asked him, did you have a incident with Roger Bonds? And he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, with some prostitutes. Did y'all have an encounter? And he was like, he didn't know that they were sex workers at the time. They had met them at a diner and they had drinks. And then they met them at a diner at a hotel and they had drinks. And then they brought them back to Diddy's house and had sex with them. So after that, the security guard told him, you need to pay one of them $200. And he was like, I'm not paying her $200 for what? And he was like, we don't need no problems or nothing. So you need to pay them $200. So he was mad. He gave the girl the $200. Later on, when they was finished or whatever, the worker asked if she could take a shower. Oh, I need to take a shower. He told her, that's going to be $200. Checkmate. I was like, oh my God. I'm telling you, I was like, this mess is crazy. So he got his money right back. He got his money right back. And they keep on, I want to say that man, because all the stuff he's doing, that's why I said I don't get this case kind of. I need to listen to some of the lawyers on the podcast and all this stuff, because to me, he would be involved in this too. But I guess this is probably setting it up as a RICO case. But I would feel like this man would be involved in it too, because you're doing certain things too. So I think they must have probably gave that man immunity or something. Like they had to. And you know what? They asked him that too. Like they kept asking him stuff and it was like, you real inconsistent in what you're saying. And he was like, well, this stuff happened like a long time ago, 2007 through 9. Like that's a long time ago. And they was like, well, what did the defense, what did they tell? I mean, what did they tell you? What did the government tell you, the prosecutors? And they said, they just told me the way you guys were going to move. Like they told me the way you guys were going to move. And he was like, and what else did they tell you? He was like, that's it. And he was like, did you sign any paperwork or did you get any immunity? And he was like, I don't know what that means. And they was like, oh, so you don't remember or you don't know what it means? He's like, I don't remember. They said, so you can remember stuff that happened in 2009 and 7 and saying that, but you don't remember what you signed an hour or two ago? And he was like, no. So that's why I low-key think that he did get immunity or something, because he should be going to jail too. I don't be understanding how they do that. It's just like the R. Kelly case. They didn't do anything to his helpers. No, they didn't. But this one, I'm like, Cassie did nothing happen to her. Did nothing happen to him. The security guards ain't nothing happening to them. So it's like, come on now. All of them, I'm thinking like they just only want Diddy. That's why they're like, oh, none of y'all don't have to go to jail. We just want him. We just want him. So they got him off the stand, and that was the end of his story. I was like, that was a good old story. I'm trying to make sure I didn't leave out anything that he said. If I do, I'll just run it back. Y'all know I'll be talking in circles and then be like, oh yeah, he said this. But that's all the notes that I put down. So next, who's on the stand? Cassie's mama, Regina Ventura. And they said when she got on the stand, she did not look happy. They said Diddy never, ever looked at Miss Regina. Like he kept his head down. And as he should, because you know that you did her daughter scandalous. And they said that she tried to fight him and everything before. So let me read the notes. Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura, took the stand. She said she had to take out a $20,000 home equity loan in 2011 for $20K. Guess why he wanted the $20K? P. Diddy said that Cassie needed to pay him back $20,000 because he found out then that she was dating Kid Cudi. And he said that's the money that he put into her. So he wanted the money back. And if he didn't get the money, that he was going to do something to her. And the mama really believed him. So Cassie's mama and her daddy took out the equity loan for the $20K and they wired it to him. They wired it to him. And then about 4 or 5 days later, Diddy gave it back to them. So it's like, you playing games, sir. He probably didn't think that they were going to have the money to give to him. So that's why he said that. So they would be scared and just be thinking like, oh my gosh. But they was like, shoot, we going to just take this equity out of our home for our baby girl and do this. And they did it. And he sent the money back. Then he wrote emails saying that he was going to put out sexually explicit videos of Cassie. Because he was mad. He said that he was mad at Cassie for messing with another celebrity. Like that made him look stupid. But I don't know what he wanted her to mess with. Just a regular person. She's not a regular girl. So that was during the holidays. They said, the mom said Cassie had came to visit her for the holidays that year in 2011 with bruises all over her body. She said she had them all over her body and she took pictures of the bruises so she would just have it like as a time stamp. And they said she had bruises on her backside, her thigh, and the back of her shoulders. She had all this. And this as at the time when Cassie had her hair shaved off on the side. So that'll give you kind of like a time frame when y'all know when it was. That's when she had her hair shaved off. And so the mom she didn't like him no more after that. And she was like, she was scared for her daughter's safety. So she didn't even want Cassie to go back. But at the time, like I said, she was messing with Kid Cudi. But eventually, Kid Cudi stayed out there with her for like 5 days at the mama house. And then Cassie went back. She went back to Diddy. She dumped Cudi and went back to Diddy because she was saying that she was scared for both of their livelihoods. So she went back. So another time, they said the mama and all of them came to LA for Cassie's 30th birthday. They came out there for her 30th birthday. And this is the incident where Cassie and Diddy was in the car and he got a hold to her phone. So he told Cassie, oh, call and check on your mom to see if she's okay. Like they're out here or whatever. Just check to see if they're okay. So when she slid her finger over to open up her phone, he snatched the phone from her. And that's when they seen that she had been messing with an NFL player and he took the phone. So when Cassie got back to her apartment where her mama and everybody was at, the mama was like, where your phone at? Where is your phone at? And she was like, Diddy took it. So that's when she called the police on Diddy and told them what happened. And Diddy ended up coming to the house and the mama was trying to take off on Diddy. Like, mamas do not be caring. It'd be like, it's something in a mama. They'd be like, boy, I don't care who you are, I'm about to fight you. And the bodyguard had to literally stand in between the mama and Diddy because she was trying to take off on them. And they wouldn't allow it. But Diddy ended up giving her phone back that day. But he did not come to none of the festivities because the mama was like, she don't want him around. Like, the mama really wanted Cassie to leave Diddy alone. But of course she didn't. So, but he wasn't at the festivities either. But it still makes you wonder, even though the mom called the police that time, like, why wouldn't you call the police when you took pictures of them bruises? Like, why wouldn't you call then? But you know what? It would have been the mama words against Cassie, because even though she took the pictures, if they would have asked Cassie after that, who did that, Cassie probably would have been saying she don't know or she didn't want to tell nobody, because she never would tell the police where she got the bruises from. So she probably would not have even told the police what was going on. So the mama was saying that after Diddy was saying stuff about him putting out the tapes and stuff, she said she physically felt sick. Like, she felt sick. And she just didn't want to even be around him no more. She did not want her daughter to be back with him. But we know Cassie went back. So it was time for Diddy's defense team to come up and cross-examine Miss Regina. Y'all, they declined to cross-examine her. Then when she was up there, they said they had no questions for her and thanked her for coming. I was like, damn. But it's like, what could y'all have even said? I'm pretty sure she has the email to show that she wired Bad Boy Entertainment. I'm pretty sure that if she showed the jurors the camera, they seen the images of Cassie with the bruising and like, what could y'all have said? It was nothing they can say. And like I said, they said that Diddy did not look at the mama at all. Like, he kept his head down. He did not look at her. So that was it for her. That was it. She had it easy today. Because Diddy, the defense team was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, we don't want no parts of you. So, next, this is where it's, girl, I was telling y'all today was good. Next, the prosecutors brought up Sheree Hayes. He's 51 years old now, male dancer from Harlem, aka his name is The Punisher. The Punisher. He's next up on the stand. So he was hired for the first time in 2012 for a freak off. He didn't know it was a freak off because he was an exotic dancer. So he said when he first got hit up, it was from Cassie, but her AKA name was Janet. So that's who it was. He said she told him originally that it was for her and her husband, but he thought when he got there, it was like gonna be a group thing with like her and her homegirls or something like that. He said when he got to the door and Cassie opened the door, she just had on a robe on with a wig and nothing under her gown. I mean, nothing under her robe. And she explained to him what she wanted to be done. She told him just to perform a striptease. He said at this time he didn't know who Cassie was. He didn't know who she was. And he was like, okay, so I'm just doing a striptease. And they did a strip, he did a striptease and performed like a sexy scene for her and her husband, aka Diddy. Diddy comes to the table, NAKED, doing this with he said he had a mask over his face, but it was like what the Muslim women wear over their face. So all he could see is his eyes. So he still said he didn't know it was Diddy. So Diddy in there being Diddying. And so he said he did that. And he was also told not to make contact or talk to the husband at all. And so he testified that he didn't know who neither one of them was. And he said when he first got there, he was paid $800 in cash. He did what he was told. They lathered up in baby oil, did all that. Diddy telling them what to do, like he doing a video. He the producer telling them which way to turn. Oh, do the lights like this. Oh, do this. So the man got $800 up front, he said. And he said that after they did all of that, Cassie left for about 10, 15 minutes. And when he came back, Diddy asked him, did he want to finish? And finish me, finish, happy ending. And the Punisher told him and Cassie, no, I want to keep things professional. That's okay. As long as she's happy, that's okay. They gave him $1,200 and he left. So he got over $2,000 just in a couple of hours for doing that. So that was the first time. He said the second time they called him back, it was at a hotel. He said anytime they did it, because he said it was between 8 to 12 times. He said anytime that they did it, he said it was like predictable, because when he would get to where it was at, they had the lights on and all that stuff, candles burning, the baby oil out. They would have like sheets and stuff over the furniture and everything like that. So he said the next time when he had the encounter, he still didn't know who he was. And he said when he got to the room, because they set the room up for him, that he turned on the TV. And you know how when you go to a hotel, when you first turn the TV on, it'll be like, oh, welcome, whoopty whoop whoop, to whatever hotel it is. He said when he turned on the TV, it said, welcome, Mr. Combs. And he was like, what the hell? And he was like, I'm not even gonna lie. He was like, I was a fan. He was a fan of Diddy. He was like, so he could not even believe that. He said he hurried up and turned the TV off before he got caught. And he said he went on social media to go look and see if Diddy was at the hotel that he was staying at. And it showed that he was there. And he said, and then he seen Cassie. So then he put, two and two together, like, oh my gosh. Doing freak offs with Diddy and Cassie. So he said he wasn't even gonna lie that he was like excited. And he was like, but it gave him anxiety. It gave him anxiety because now he know that's who he doing the stuff for. So he said that time, He said that time when he did it, he said they started lasting longer. They could last for about multiple days, but he was asked to come around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's why he said it could be predictable, because he knew. And they would call him. And he said the participants would start off, like I told y'all, in the living room, and they had to lather up in the baby oil. And then they have to start rubbing it on each other. And then after that, now it started being followed by oral sex or penetration. So he said, here puppy again, giving directions, like he in a music video or somewhere, giving them directions. He said sometimes Cassie would sigh, like she really didn't want to do it, but according to her, she had to do it. He said he recalled a time when Combs threw condoms on the couch and said he was ready to see them F. I'm ready to see y'all F here. And so he said they start doing what he told him to do. He was like, I guess it got so good to Diddy. Diddy came in and just threw stacks of money on the bed, and it startled Cassie. And Cassie looked like, is everything okay? And then he was like, yeah, like, I love this, S. I love this. So the boy knew that he was doing good. So he was like, every time he came, it was different amount of monies. And sometimes he did not understand why. But then later, last week, we knew that they were saying if you didn't do the ending, that would be deducted. So old boy did say sometimes he could not get because he had anxiety. And he was like, so he would have to take stuff to go there, and sometimes he just couldn't. So he said after a while, they had stopped calling him, and he said he knew that was why, because sometimes he wouldn't be able to stay up or he couldn't just perform at all. So, but he said he did it between 8 to 10 times. And he said he was also coming up on his anniversary of 30 years of being a male exotic dancer. He said he started in 1995. He started in 1995, his first on Memorial Day weekend. So this is coming up on his 30th year. He said he didn't dance with thousands of women, lap dance, rubbing, and professional dry, whatever. I don't want to say, that. And the prosecutor act like he didn't know what he was talking about. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And he was like, what do you mean? What do we mean? He was like, I don't understand what you're saying you're doing. So it's like, boy, you know what it meant. And he said he had to say it. They said he had to say it like 7 times. And then the prosecutor was like, oh, okay. And he also said that he wrote a book on ED and detailed how he tried to cure his own condition with getting the steel, whatever they do in their stuff. So he got a book out now, which I'm sure people probably gonna want to buy, because he talked about Diddy and Cassie in there, but he didn't ever say their name. He said husband and wife. Dang, you know what, Alondra? And because Alondra said, was the Punisher black? Yes, he is. Let me see if I can do his thing real fast. And I meant to put that on here. That's crazy. Because you know me with my own nosy. So soon as they put his real name, I was like, oh yeah, I need to see what he looked like. Let me see. He's a nice looking man, but he look, how you doing? But he a nice looking man. Let me see if y'all can see this. Tell me if y'all can see it. That's him. That's the Punisher. This is him, you guys. So he a nice looking man. Let me see if I can find another one. This is him. He's nice looking. So, okay, so that's him. So, he was funny to me. I said he funny. They asked him after that, when they cross-examined him, did anytime he was having intercourse with Cassie, he said anytime he was having intercourse with Cassie, they asked him, did she seem like she didn't want to do it? He was like, sometimes, but he really didn't know. But he said and then it was like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, well, if I felt like she was uncomfortable, I wouldn't do it. And they was like, but you didn't say that before. And he was like, well, I'm saying it now. Like, if she seemed uncomfortable, I wouldn't do it. They was like, but didn't you say before that sometimes she would sigh like she didn't want to do it? He was like, well, I didn't know if she really didn't want to do it, but if she looked uncomfortable, that I wouldn't do it. So that was the end of his. So if y'all want to pick up his book, it's something like Harder Than Frozen Meat. That's the name of his book, Harder Than Frozen Meat. So he probably about to have a #1 seller. He made sure he plugged that in today. So that was the end of the Punisher. It should be some more male exotic. That's another thing. So you, sir, was paid for this. That's what I'm saying. And he was in New York already. So how is this sex trafficking? If he was already in New York, that's the only place he said he would do it is there. How is that sex trafficking? But whatever. We'll go to the next one. So next up was Special Agent Gerald Cannon. He was in charge of planning the raid on Diddy's Star Island mansion in Miami. He said that they had more than usual agents that did the raid that day because the size of the house. The house was 20,000 square feet. So they had about 80 agents out there. And they was like, and that's usual for a house that size. But and because they possibly would have had armed security. They said that the raid did happen around 3 or 4, which isn't typical, but they knew Combs and his family were scheduled to take a trip out of the country that day. So they thought it would be best for them to wait until him and his family left. So they said that's why they waited until that time. But as you know, I think at that house that day, it was only Stevie J that was there at the house in Miami. It was only Stevie J and Stevie J and one of his little drug dealers or whatever. Those were the only two at the Star Island mansion that day. So that's why they did it then, because they didn't want Diddy to be there. So they asked, he told the prosecutors what he found in the house, what they asked. And he said in the main bedroom in the closet, they found parts of an AR-15 rifle with the accessories and optic plates that would help the SHOOTERSC. So they really couldn't miss. So they had those. They also found pieces of AR-15 rifles that had the serial numbers scratched out. They had that too. He said they also found high heels, SEX toys, baby oil, and lubricant and lingerie. So they said that's what they found in the main bedroom closet. And that was it for them today because they ended it after that. So tomorrow they're going to pick it up where they stopped off with him. So that's why I was saying today was so good. It was so interesting. Like I was just picturing this stuff in my mind. Like he's wild. Like he's wild. He wild. I just cannot even imagine all this stuff going on. Like, and then they kept on asking him. They didn't even really want to know about the GUNs or nothing like that. They start asking him about the high heels and the baby oil. Like, why would y'all not want to know about the GUNs that he possibly could have been using on people? Y'all more worried about the baby oil and high heels and lubricant? So I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to pick up tomorrow, asking about that and what else they found in the house. We're going to see. They said this week that Kid Cudi is supposed to come on the stand. And then it's supposed to be other exotic dancers, companions that is supposed to be coming up. And we'll just see how it goes. But today was good. I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what Diddy he is wow. Like, he nasty. I just keep on thinking like, who would want to see their girlfriend have relations with another man? And you just get it turned on by that. And they still got to keep putting on baby oil and all that stuff over and over again. So we'll see how things go tomorrow. I'll let y'all know. But today was a good day. I was just like, dang, Diddy, you a wild boy. You a wild boy. But it made it seem like the SEX worker, he knew what he was coming for him. He wasn't forced to do that. Everybody so far don't seem like they was forced, except for Cassie at times. So, but I guess they're making it seem like, what's going on is he's forcing everybody to do this. Yes, Alondra, he really is. I was like, I don't think there's nobody that can top him. I really don't think. And then it makes me wonder, if he was doing all this all the time, when did he have time to be making the bed and doing all this stuff and all that? Oh, that's what James did say, his assistant. his assistant did say that he really did like Diddy's work ethics. He was like, he really admired him. He was like, because when it was stuff that he had to do, like he went all out. He was like, I admire him for that. And it was like, oh, you do? So you would say that he's a generous boss. And he was like, no, I didn't say all that. Well, what do you mean? He was like, I wouldn't say all that. He wasn't generous or anything. And they was like, well, he would sign autographs for people. He was like, no, I would be the one that signed the autographs. Like he wasn't generous at all. Like I just said, I liked his work ethics, and that's it. Don't put no words in my mouth. So we'll see what else goes on tomorrow, and we'll meet here again tomorrow at 6:30. So make sure you guys like this live and tell your friends to watch my recap. And I will see you guys next week. Let me see what Alondra said. Where do you even learn to do all this stuff? That's what I'm saying, because maybe on PORN, I wonder, do they do all that stuff on there? Because it's like you got a wild imagination. Like this, it has to be from something like that. Like he was better off having his own entertainment, whatever you would call it, in that industry, because you're wild. You're wild. But I will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30. Make sure you come in and make sure you press the like button. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.